Next, New Jersey-based author Robert Skead is launching a new book. The Batboy and the Unbreakable Record, middle grade historical fictional novel for ages 8 to 12 and adults too. Robert joins us now.
Hey, good
Hi,
morning.
Robert. Good to see you. So
You
tell
too.
us,
Thanks for having me.
what is the new book about?
Yeah, so it's called The Batboy and the Unbreakable Record, and it's about a 12-year-old boy named Richie. And unfortunately, his family comes on some hardship. He's in Cincinnati, and his dad breaks his leg, and Richie, at 12 years old, has to get a job. He applies for different jobs. One he thinks he's applying for is working with wood in a woodworking shop, but what he's really applying for is the job as a bat boy for the Cincinnati Reds. They kind of worded it that way so they would get kids who really needed a job. So he gets the dream job of being the bat boy for the Cincinnati Reds, and through that experience, he gets to befriend Johnny Vandermeer, who is New Jersey's native and Midland Park hometown hero. And Johnny Vandermeer, when he was 23 years old, pitched back-to-back no-hitters for the Cincinnati Reds. So Richie, as the bat boy, gets to experience that from the front seat. And as Johnny Vandermeer's friend, he befriends him and gets to help him achieve what the Cincinnati Post called the greatest feat in the game's history.
Wow. Now, Robert, you were asked by Johnny Vandermeer's best friend, Dick Jeffer, to keep Vandy's legacy alive. Can you tell us the story of how you met Jeffer and how his request impacted your life?
Oh, sure. So back in 1997, I moved into Midland Park with my wife, and Midland Park had a special day that day. They dedicated a memorabilia display that somebody had crafted that was filled with all of Johnny's mementos. And it was called Johnny Vandermeer Day. So I went, met him, got a couple of autographs, one for my father in law, one for myself, and just kind of fell in love with the story. He came back to town all the time and would leave balls at the barber shop signed for boys and girls. And then he passed away a little bit after that. And the New York Times had a picture of him with Babe Ruth in his obituary. I saw the picture. I'm like, that's really cool. It needs to be in the display. A gentleman from town, Mr. Jeffer, saw that in the display, asked the library to put him in touch with me. I got him a copy. We quickly became friends. He became like my surrogate grandfather. And before he died at the age of 96, he asked me to keep the memory of his best friend and the record alive. And I pretty much vowed to him to do that. And writing this book that features the tale of his best friend's record was the best way I could do that.
That is such an endearing personal story. Rob, in your opinion, what's the most amazing aspect of Vandermeer's record?
Yeah, well, to pitch one no hitter is an amazing feat, right? To pitch one in consecutive games, right? So back to back, and then to actually pitch three, we don't think any baseball aficionado doesn't think it's a record that will ever be broken.
Mm, wow, that is amazing. So
That's
I'm
really
wondering,
exciting. So,
oh, go ahead,
go ahead,
Mike.
Dina.
Why are there elements of bullying in the storyline?
Yeah, it's interesting. So when I wrote this story, and any kid story in any book, a character has to have conflict. So in this story, there's conflict between Richie and his friends at school who don't believe he really is the bat boy for the Cincinnati Reds. He's got conflict with the senior bat boy who's kind of tough on him. And at the end of the story, I realized there's really a lot of great direction in this story for kids to learn how to deal with bullying. It wasn't anything I really intentionally did. After the fact, I was like, wow, that's really, really neat how that kind of happened organically. And then certainly, being in the school system where I speak to kids at schools throughout the state of New Jersey with my author visits, I know bullying is a big theme in schools and a big issue. So at the end of the book, we found some great tips for kids to learn how to handle bullying um, through bullet points, but also they can learn from how the character interacts with other people in the story as well.
And so, Robert, what do you hope is the biggest takeaway from the book?
Yeah, so obviously, as a children's author, you always want the book and the story to be entertaining, right? So that's the first thing. The other thing is, I really want kids to read it and come away with the sense that they can fulfill their dreams and goals as well. Johnny Vandermeer achieved something in baseball history that he never dreamed of, and lots of boys and girls around the country want to be softball players and baseball players, and whatever their aspiration is, I want them to feel that it's possible with a lot of hard work and with some good fortune, as Johnny Vandermeer had as well.
So, Rob, do you think the record will ever be broken?
No, I don't.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rob, for joining us this morning. Could you let us know where to find more information about your book?
Oh, sure. So it's available wherever books are sold. Obviously, BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com carry it as well. And you can always go to my website, www.robertskead.com, and discover more information there.
Great. Thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you for having me.